So a couple of weeks ago, I uploaded a post to Instagram, which was of a LumaFusion 4K 10-bit cinematic video. Now, a lot of you commented on that post, DM'd me, and also emailed me, and when I uploaded the video here on YouTube, you made some comments here as well, wanting to see a behind the scenes or a breakdown of this edit. So that's what we're gonna do in today's video. But if you are brand new to this channel, and this is the first time that you jumped in on this video, and you wanna see more videos like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button. That would be highly appreciated. And also welcome if this is the first time you're here. Now with that said, let's head over to the iPad and take a look at the project timeline and how I created this video. But first, let's take a look at the video itself. So now that we moved over to the iPad here and over to LumaFusion, let's take a look at the entire project before we start on the breakdown. Now, if I pinch the zoom out here, you can see there is a lot of things going on my timeline right here. And there's a lot of different cool effects, if you ask me, which I applied to this video. We have the change of sky here going from a thunderstorm to the Milky Way to the Northern Light. And we also have some VFX thunder made here inside of LumaFusion, which was pretty cool and pretty awesome, and I really wanted to see if I was able to make something like this as a sudden appearance inside of the LumaFusion with using overlays only. On the bottom here, we have some pretty simple sound design here at the beginning with some different flicker sounds, and we also have some wind, we have some thunder and rain, and we also have a riser here which is coming in here right at this flash, creating a really nice effect with the flash and the overlay flare as well. Now let's go to the beginning of the project here. At the beginning here, there is a lot of different overlays. All of the overlays which you see here in this video can be downloaded for free. If you are looking for anything like this, there is a password hidden in this video as well. So if you want to get these overlays for free, make sure to find the password, then head over to the link in the description and apply the password, and you can download these overlays for free. Now let's go on and disable the videos down on the bottom here, so we can take a look at the overlays itself first. Now here is the mix of all the overlays together, and let's go by them one by one here. The first one, or the first line of overlays, is what you can see here. These are completely free, as I said, so if you want these, you can get a hold of them by finding the password in today's video. Now let's take a look at the next one here. We have some of the same. We have some dust coming in here, we have some flares, and we have the same camera effect flare which is coming in right here with some flickers to it. Next to that, we have some smoke coming in from the bottom, and a cool tip is, if you want to use this the opposite way, if you want it to come down from the top and not from the bottom and up, you can simply go into the video and then you can flip it around and you have it coming in from the top. If you want to have it coming in from either side, you just flip it one more time, and then you might need to scale it up to sell in the effect and the overlay. Now let's take a look at the top one here. This is a glitch effect as well, and this is a TV glitch, which is creating a nice beginning to something like that has happened, which is going to be shown later in the video. Moving over to the top one here, we have, I don't know if it's really easy or hard to see on the screen, but this is also a glitch flicker, which is coming in now and then. And all these overlays together is looking like this. So we have the different overlays coming in, overlapping each other, and we also have that coming in here on the RobHK text layer. And if we just scrub through here now, we can see all the different flares and overlays which I applied to the video, and I really overlapped the overlays as well to sell in some of the effect. Also resized and adjusted the position of the overlays. Also made some speed changes to the overlays to make them go faster and slower depending on, you know, what I wanted to achieve with this video. Now moving over to the other part here, I think we're gonna hide some of these. The second layer needs to be hidden like that, so we don't experience massive lag once we go through this. And here we also have the different overlays, and as you can see here, we have some rain coming in, which is actually not rain, it's actually salt. So it's a free clip of someone, you know, throwing salt into the air, or is it a flower, and just in slow motion we get this awesome effect. So there's a lot of different ways that you can also create your own overlays if you want to do that. Just make sure to have a black background when you do that, so you can create something really nice. Going further in here, we have the smoke coming in as well again, and here we have the flower or salt. I'm not really sure what that is, but it's looking cool, and it really added something different to the lightning effect, which we is going to go through in a second. Now here, once we get over to this part here, you can see if we enable this, you can see that we have the sky replacement here, and we have the thunder coming in right here with the overlays as well. Then it suddenly changes over to the Milky Way, and then it changes over to the Northern Light, which is coming in here at the end with some colored burns here. And we have the same overlay coming in here as we saw in the beginning, which is coming in with my hand, which is being revealed here. And this is probably my favorite part of this video, because I think this looks super dope, and I can't wait to test this out in different scenes as well, and another environment, just to see if I can replicate some of these camera shots, which I did. Now moving further in here, we get back to more of the basic editing. We have the overlays as well. The overlays are, you know, applied throughout the entire sequence, which is creating a more spiced up look to your videos. So the more overlays you use, the better it will look. But I'm not saying that you're gonna throw in like overlays here and there and just hope for the best. It needs to be on the where it fits. It needs to be where it fits, and don't overuse it, because the more you use, if you use it, throw overlays all over your project, it's not gonna be appealing at all. Now here we have drone shots, just a basic simple drone shot, and we come in here and we have some speed ramps and everything coming in here and going out into the next shot, and then again out into the next shot, and we have another drone shot with some slightly lowered opacity overlays, and we still have the TV glitches here on the top. As you can see, this has been duplicated the entire way over here. All the way over here we have the same type of overlay, and moving over to the next one here, we have the same overlay coming in here again. And going through towards the end here, we have less overlays because the video is ending, and we end up with the final shot, which is a drone shot, and we still have the TV glitch flicker effect here as an overlay. And for the drone shot here, I basically added a simple LUT, which I was able to acquire, and this really gives you that dark mood here, which is looking awesome if you ask me. Just creating some different looks to the different clips that you have might also be really good for your video, so you don't have the flat out same color kind of correction and color LUTs to every single clip that you have on your timeline as well. This is also, you know, it's all individual how you want to color grade your footage. I also talked about this in the previous video which I uploaded, which is my 2 years of experience with LumaFusion. So I highly recommend that you check out that one if you haven't done that already. Now let's move over to the part right here, because this is basic editing. This is just raw cuts, as we can see here, matching that to the music with some overlays. And we also have the flash here, and we have some text with some glitch effect to it. And moving over to the part right here, it starts to get interesting, because here we start to see the thunder effect coming in here. And the way I created this is again with the overlays. We have the TV effect, and we also have some particles and the flour or salt, which appears to be, you know, rainstorm coming or rain coming blowing into the screen. And what I did here was to simply have the first clip, which you see here. I duplicated this clip and placed it above, so I had two of the same clip. And then I simply made some cuts to it and removed some parts in between, as you can see here on all the layers which are here. I just made some different cuts here, so 2 frames or 1 frame, and I removed the one in the middle there and in the middle there. Then I had a longer clip, and I removed a part, and here I also removed a part, and that's what I did to the entire sequence where I made the thunder. And the thunder, once you do this, the thunderstorm kind of look you know, makes itself. So I made these 2 layers of the same video, added the 2 overlays here, and then most of the things were done. But for these clips which I made cuts to, I went into edit, and I also added the color correction here, or color adjustment. So if we disable that, you can see we have the raw color of the drone. Once I enable this, you can see how dark it is. So I basically just changed the levels here and pulled them more towards the shadow side to make it darker. You could also play with the brightness here to make it even darker if you want to do that. But since this was actually filmed when there was a lot of sun, if we can just go out here and double tap on the previous screen, you can see here on the screen that we have the sun reflecting in the water. So I tried to make this and to sell this effect as good as possible, and I really had to go down on the brightness here. And if I go way too down, you kind of get some artifacts and some really weird colors in the extremely bright areas here. So I ended up with something like this, but filming this when it was not sunny would probably have been a little bit better. But that's basically how I created the thunder effect here in LumaFusion, and it's really not that hard. It's pretty simple. So my recommendation to make something like this, and I really would love to see you test it out, is to have the 2 clips, and then you make the cuts like I explained right here. Just take a new layer and then just make cuts in between. But once you duplicated the first layer, so you have 2 of them, make sure to add the sound effects and the sound design, so you know where to cut for the thunder. Because if the thunder and the lightning is not matching, it's not gonna look that great at all. So make sure to apply your video, then duplicate, and then add the sound design with the different thunder sound effects, and then you can start to cut the second layer and the overlays which you see here. And again, I want to remind you that these overlays are completely free. Find the password in this video, go to the link in the description below and type in the password and you can download these overlays. Now moving over to the next part here, this is also the thunder, and as you see here, once we come into this part, there is a more rapid change in the different cuts here. So we have more cuts here, which goes faster, which is also matching with the sound design, which is here on the bottom. Now, moving to the next part here, which is also quite interesting, is the change of sky. Now, this was actually very hard to pull off because, as you can see here, I have the first layer here, and then I have the second layer here, and I have a cut right here to make, you know, them blend in together to make it as good looking as possible. So what I did here was to have just the basic layer here at the bottom. If we go to the beginning here, this has been changed a little bit when it comes to the color correction because I needed to make it a little bit darker. If I didn't make it darker, the effect would have been really bad. It wouldn't have been easy to, you know, match and key out the different parts here. So what I did was to turn down and make the sky brighter, because the brighter the sky is compared to the background and foreground which you have, the easier it is to key out the sky. So you can see here that the sky is a lot brighter than the foreground. And we also have this pool here at the bottom right, which makes it a little bit interesting. I don't know if you noticed that on the video, but if we go through here, you can also see that I managed to create the reflection here in the water down there as well. You can also see that we have the thunder here, and that's one of the reasons I needed to add this on top as well, and also two different layers of the same effect. Because if we go into the first one here, this is the one which is on the top here. If we go over to cropping, you can also see that I cropped in as much as I could to prevent this from coming all the way down to the water here, and I also added some edge softness to blend the scenes in together. Now for the top shot here, I actually did some of the same things, but here I cropped in for the water only, so I had the same clip, but this one was only at the water pool, which is down at the right corner. Now you can probably see that better if we go over to the next part here, or actually here at the end. You can see we have some nice reflection here as we get to a flash right here. We should have a thunder, a lightning coming down here pretty soon, and you can also see that it reflects back to the water pool, which is down here on the right, which is some few minor details, which is, or major details, which you should also think about when you are editing a video where you do a sky replacement. Try to make the same, you know, replacement down in the pools or reflection of cars. If you can do that, it's all about placing a new layer like I did here, and then also adjust the opacity of that new layer wherever you place it. We can also see if we can see some of the changes here on the other one. Here we can also see that we managed to add the reflection inside the water pool here as well. So we have the Milky Way here, but we also have the reflection in the water. And the same go with the last one here. We have the northern light being reflected off of the water, and here we also have some different overlays as I mentioned earlier. So the way that I did this was to simply have the first clip here on the bottom, and then I applied the different skies here. So let's take the lightning for example. I applied two lightning overlays, and then I applied the top clip here over the same one, which is at the bottom. And for this one, I added a Luma key. As you can see here, it really allowed me to remove the sky completely, and this is a lot better to use than the chroma key because it's a little bit more accurate. So Luma key for the transition right there. You can also do it with chroma key if you want to do it like that. If you don't have like a perfectly white sky, it might be hard to use the chroma key. So I recommend that you test out with the Luma key. Worst case, you know, you can use chroma key and Luma key together, which might help you remove some of the scenery, which looks like this, which has some clouds, a sun, and also some blue sky as well. Now moving further in here, like I said, we have the part right here, and this also, it has the same overlay as the we saw in the beginning here, and this is probably the favorite shot of mine. I really love how this shot turned out to be, especially the grading and the overlays combined here at this point looks really nice. Now for the remaining part of the project here, it's basically the same raw cuts with some overlays. There's nothing major going on here. We have some speed ramps coming in here. It goes fast and then it slows and goes fast into the next one, which also comes in fast and slows down, and then fast, and then we have the slow part here as we get to the drone shot and sort of reveal the beach line here. Now for the next one, we have raw cuts. This is only camera movements, and we end up with some overlays here at the end as well. And then we get towards the end with a few more overlays here, and that's the end of the video. I also added a different type of color correction and color grading to this final shot because I wanted it to have a different color, since we, you know, most of the same colors are applied to all the different clips here. So I wanted to have this a little bit darker, moodier as an end clip for the entire sequence. And let me show you something here. See how much impact an overlay might have on your color correction. Now this is looking way too dark, right? And it's looking a little bit too dark. So once I add the overlay here, you can see how that is brightening up the parts of the video. And like I said, this is a TV glitch effect. Let's see if we can zoom into it so you can see the different lines here. I don't know if you can see on the screen right now, but there is a glitch lines coming in here, and if we try to scrub through, you might see the flicker in them. Not sure if you do that, but anyway, this is really doing a massive difference when it comes to the color correction and grading. So make sure, another tip here is to make sure that you apply the overlays first, so you can do the color correction of your footage after. And another tip here is to add the overlays wherever you want to add them, and then you can disable them and enable them according to which clips you are color correcting and color grading. So the way that I did it here was to apply everything here as you see it on the timeline, and once I'd done that, I went over to the most basic clip I could find and then added my basic color correction to it and a little bit of grading, and then I applied that to every single clip for them to go through and go over the different clips and adjust the colors and correction of all of them, or over the clips which actually needed some additional correction. So that's basically the entire project here. Now let's take a look at the video one more time so you can see how everything is looking smoothly, because this one won't play smooth because of everything which is going on here. So let's take a look at the video one more time. there you have a breakdown of my latest LumaFusion travel video edit. So let me know in the comment section below what's your thoughts on this edit. I know there was a lot of overlays here, but in my opinion it turned out to be pretty damn awesome at the end once I trimmed and just did the final adjustments to the video as well. So if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button. That would be highly appreciated. Leave a thumbs up if you liked this video as well. If you really liked it, make sure to share it with others, friends and family, to also see the behind the scenes breakdown of this type of edit inside of LumaFusion. Yes. So with that said, that's the end of the video. I really appreciate that you took the time to watch this, and hopefully I see you guys in the next video as well.